all of that. I can hear all of Mal's chugging. Anyway.
I don't know if you heard, it's 1:11 here.
It is 1:11. Drink up, my friend. Drink up. Hey, guys. Welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I'm Candice Thompson. To my loyal listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in time and time again. To my new people that have joined today, The Struggle is a podcast where formerly I had my friends come on and we talked about things we're struggling with, but since the world is ending and everyone has the same struggle, we thought maybe we'll just, make people laugh and talk about light things. So switching it up a bit for quarantine. We are still in quarantine. It is September.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, please don't get me started. Please don't get me started. But thank you for being here. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. And I'm now posting my videos on my personal YouTube. So I'll post that link, so make sure you go there and subscribe if you want to watch it as well. And rate and review us on iTunes. And last but not least, if you have not told someone about this podcast and you are enjoying it, tell somebody. That's all. You can find me at Jokes by Candice on social media. Now I'm going to introduce my very hairy co-host that everyone knows and loves, Mal Hall.
Hey, everybody. I hope you're staying cool and hydrated. That was a message from my mustache. You can find me on social media at Mal Hall TV on YouTube. And I'm, trying to post content as often as I can, but it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters anymore.
Yeah. Candice, who's the guest?
Wait, hold on. Before we introduce the guest, I wanted to ask you, is there any advice for people who are struggling to grow facial hair that you would give them?
Yeah, just let it, let it grow out for a while and don't touch it. That's the biggest thing is, I think people overthink growing the facial hair. You really don't have to do anything for it. You just have to keep your face clean and the hair will grow.
What about moisturization?
You could add coconut oil if you would like. I did put some essential oils on the mustache today. I knew I was going to be on camera and I wanted Lionel to look good. So
Lionel is his name.
Yeah, Lionel. But yeah, I don't have facial hair growing tips.
Oh, okay.
I
have pubic hair growing tips for anybody who wants to know. Just slide into my DMs if you're curious about what I use down there. Now I'm going to introduce our hilarious guest. He is no stranger to the struggle. He did the show one time before and he was so fucking funny and I had to have him back. Give it up, everybody, for Kevin Avery.
Everybody, give it up.
Hello. Mal rattled off a bunch of facial hair growing tips and then declared that he had no facial hair growing tips. Just contradicting himself right out of the gate. I like that. Keeping us all on our toes.
Yeah. We promote foolishness on this podcast all day, all long. So nothing makes sense because nothing makes sense in the world anymore. So why should the podcast? Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Are you guys? Here's a quick question. Speaking of things that don't make sense, have you had a termite? Have you noticed a bunch of termites around today?
Termites? Wouldn't you have to have it? My place used to have termites, but don't you have to have the termites to see the termites? I had a small termite thing, but that was a year or two ago. And today, sometimes I'll see them sort of flying around. I've seen just like a handful sort of outside. Oh,
and I didn't see anything of it, but I was texting with a friend earlier who in the middle of the texting, she realized she had hundreds in her kitchen inside. And then she sent me a video and they were all over her window. And I was like, I wonder if this is the thing or if they're all... Do termites migrate? Like, they're all flying somewhere or something?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's so hot right now that maybe it's bringing them literally out of the woodwork. Coming out of the woodwork, guys. Did you see what I did there?
That was well done. Well done. Is the podcast over?
That's it. We should just wrap it up because it's not going to get better than that.
That's a drop the podcast moment right there.
Wow.
No, termites, I don't know what their behaviors or patterns are. I do think, because I had issues for years and like the management wasn't doing anything about the termites here. They would just leave their little piles of like poop or whatever it was that they do. And finally they got rid of it. But I have a hard time believing when they exterminate that they get rid of all of them. I have a hard time. There's got to be some survivors that are just going to start fucking and then they just going to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know we had a few here, but I haven't seen, like you said, the little pile. I think it's wood. I think that's little, like, piles of wood, and I haven't seen any. But it would be weird if they were suddenly all on the move.
Yeah, they might be. Maybe they know something we don't know. You know how animals in nature, they be knowing shit before humans do. So they might be moving some. Maybe they know LA and California is about to break off the side of the country, and they're just like, fuck this, and they're gonna go to like Costa Rica, like I plan on doing.
The new California, Arizona. They're like, let's go east for a little bit.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's your social media where people can find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kevin Avery Comedy. And I almost said KevinAveryComedy.com. That was on my brain. Kevin Avery Comedy on Instagram and just Kevin Avery on Twitter. Even though I should tweet more, I feel bad because I don't tweet.
I don't tweet either. I just repost.
Do not feel bad. Yeah, do not feel bad. Twitter is awful. Twitter is, if you just want to go see people argue all the time, and just all the party poopers are on Twitter. That's where you go if you want to feel badly about your day or to feel like you're not doing enough for society, or just want to, if you want to get in politics and see people arguing. I can't anymore. It's too much. It's exhausting, and it's just not a happy place.
Yeah, I have friends who keep sending me links on Twitter, and I will click on it, and then I'm going down a whole rabbit hole of other nonsense, and I'm like, how did I even get on Twitter? Twitter anymore. So, but anyway, follow me. Still there.
See, that's go ahead.
I was gonna say I basically just retweet George Wallace and Rex Chapman. Those are like my two favorite follows. Yeah. And I'll just retweet their stuff and then retweet the podcast, and like that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm not really on Twitter, dude.
Yeah, I have to monitor myself and I have to just stop myself right now because everything I want to tweet right now is very controversial. So I have to stop. I have to refrain because those rabbit holes that you're talking about, that's the only reason why I go on Twitter. I go specifically to see what these people who are conspiracy theorists are tweeting, and I'm all there for it. My favorite right now is a guy named Larry Johnson.
Grandmama?
Oh, no, not that guy. There's another. This guy was also another. He was a professional athlete, football player, like I think in the early aughts, I'm not 100% sure. Used to be all in like the Hollywood life and celebrity lifestyle, but then like now is like born again, all about faith and like preaching to people and trying to get everyone to do better. But at the same time, all woven in the like the Illuminati conspiracy theory shit, and like I'm like, oh, you said my favorite words right there. So yeah, I entertain a lot of his tweets. They're very entertaining. But yeah, no, I stay with Twitter's trash. So Twitter's trash. How are you doing, Kevin, in quarantine? Are you thriving? Or are you just surviving? How would you describe it?
I think a combination of both. Generally speaking, I feel like I'm thriving, knock on wood or something. But I do keep dealing with these, like I had bees recently.
What's up with you and insects?
I don't know. A couple years ago, I had like wasps would show up in my house, just randomly. On any given Sunday, I'd be chilling, and there would be a wasp just hanging out on the window. And over the first year or two that I lived here, I killed, I'm gonna say like 15 wasps.
Wow.
Like I think yellow jacket inside the house, and and then stopped coming around.
Because the word got out.
I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have you seen Larry lately? Yeah, he went into that dude Kevin's house, and we haven't heard from him since.
But so here's the thing. since quarantine started, I have a little office area over there, and there's a window facing out. Well, that's where they all face. And I could see off to the right that there were a bunch of bees flying around. There are these trees right next to my place, and so I was like, oh, they must be all up in that tree, working, living, doing their thing.
Right.
And then one night, a bee got in the house. Like, this would have been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I was like, oh no, that's it. I'd let this hive stay there for most of quarantine.
Yeah.
We call a bee guy. They come over. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's not in the tree. They're in the walls. It had gotten into
What?
These bees had gotten into it. There was a separation between the ceiling and the wall, and they'd gotten in there. They said it's been there for probably 6 to 8 months, and it's a massive hive.
Now that you're saying that, I think I remember your Instagram post. Did you post a picture?
Yeah. So they came here and they pulled this crazy hive out of my ceiling / wall.
Can we keep the honey though?
I don't even think we get to keep that because, we don't, because they spray it. They spray it with something. Somehow the honey is contaminated. They told me. So.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but I figured that's where the wasps were coming from too, and they were finding a way. I know how they were getting in the house, and it's weird.
But it was a beehive, not a wasp hive.
It's a beehive, and I think there were wasps there before, and they left, and then
the bees are squatters basically. They took over. They took over the Yellow Jacket home.
They gentrified
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. They pushed the wasp and the termites out, and they brought themselves in.
Yeah, they did. Now there's a Starbucks there.
Oh, natural honey. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're well-to-do bees. We don't make hives outside. We want to live on the inside, like civilized people.
Right.
In my head, when you started saying it was like the wasps and the bees, which I didn't even know they like fucked with one another at all. Like I would always think that they would, in my head, they had, I think, turf wars. Yeah.
I think they're separate. Yeah.
Wasps kill bees, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
I think they kill spiders.
Because wasps don't make honey. Bees are the only ones that make honey. So wasps will like try to take over a beehive.
But because they want the honey?
They'll eat their little babies, their larvae and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's real. I didn't know.
I just think the wasps were done. I think sometimes after a while they'll leave a nest and they'll go off somewhere else. I think they were done, and then the bees just found this area like, hey, no one's here.
But now the termites is back.
I really think there's something weird going on, and they're just they're around, but I don't know. That's I'm not worried about termites.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be worried about. You should be worried about what it is that is attracting insects, like your energy. Maybe I'll come over there and just sage you or get your chakras aligned.
Because I'll tell you something. It was spiders when I first moved in. Spiders still run this motherfucker. Although I haven't seen any in a while, but for a while it was just they were just all over, and I'm in here killing bugs on the regular.
You could put pest control on your resume.
Yeah.
You could do a side hustle.
I'm done with stand up and with writing. I'm the insect.
Kevin's place isn't safe if you have more than fucking 4 legs.
Come up here with no 6 legs.
Yeah, if you walk in here with more than 4 legs, you are fucked.
Yeah. I'm here. I do have my methods of. First of all, I bought a bee suit.
No, you didn't.
You have a beekeeper outfit?
When the wasps were I went online and I bought the full suit and with the thing over it.
Oh!
So I'm telling you, when the last time I saw that bee here a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, hell no. Back, put on the suit. This is like 8:30 at night. And I came out with this suit and a can of Raid, like, where?
There's one bee looking at him like, this motherfucker is
Yeah.
overreacting. It's just me.
Overkill.
Buddy on his little bee phone, he's wearing an actual bee suit.
Yeah.
No, the suit.
The whole thing.
Yeah. He just put the net over his head. Yeah.
I just picture Kevin inviting people to his place. Yeah, we should, I'll make you brunch, but don't forget your bee suit when you come over. And you're just doing regular life in your house, but wearing a fucking bee suit.
Bee suit. Here's the thing. No one has ever, I used to have people over a lot, and no one has ever been here when the bees or when the wasps show up.
You're the crazy person that is making up all of these. Do you remember, did you ever watch Sesame Street when Big Bird would talk about Snuffleupagus, his best friend, and no one believed him? He was always conveniently not there when anyone else was there.
I think we literally talked about this because that's a fascinating premise that a giant bird is trying to tell you that a woolly mammoth also lives on your block, and listen, yellow bird that's taller than all of us. I will only take so far with what I'm willing to believe in.
Can we talk about how that was really a commentary on gaslighting and and people calling people conspiracy theorists? Like, I'm experiencing this. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not real.
You're Sesame Streeting me?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm starting to dabble into Sesame Street again because Colino.
Yeah.
I have a 1-year-old son.
Okay.
And so we're like, we don't do screens with him at all, but we're starting to integrate Sesame Street into his learning regimen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just refamiliarizing myself with all these puppets that we grew up with. It's strange to watch Sesame Street through like adult eyes. It's like a very strange program. And the people that work there, that's like, you got to be a certain kind of person to like wake up every day and do puppeting.
I mean, I would do that. That's one of my dream jobs.
For real?
I got to actually work with a Muppet. My episode aired yesterday with on Disney Plus. It's a Muppet talk show. Jim Henson's Muppets. Yes. They have a talk show called Earth to Ned. Yeah. And so the premise is very funny. We Yasser worked on the show. Eliza Skinner, who we love. Mm-hmm. She's one of the producers and writers on it. But anyway, so the premise of the show, which I think is very funny, is aliens came to invade Earth and take it over, and then basically found out about celebrity culture and was like, oh, I kind of like it. Like basically like inspired by the Kardashians, and was like, you know what? I think I want a talk show instead of destroying Earth. I'm going to start a talk show. So now there's this Muppet who's behind the desk of a talk show, late night talk show, and he has a sidekick. And the sidekick for the sketch that I was in, the sidekick came and met with a bunch of late night TV writers at a coffee shop to get advice and input to give back to his host on how to run a late night talk show properly. It was so silly.
Funny.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's on Disney Plus. Earth to Ned, everybody.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's watch right now. Let's take a look at a clip. And we just sit for the rest of the time just watching independently of one another.
Silence.
Sorry, we can't air the audio on the podcast, so look it up yourself as well.
So stupid. All right, you guys, let's get into some topics because why the fuck not?
Why not?
Everyone, it's been a great week for Tyler Perry, you guys. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. I mean, who wasn't asking for this? Who wasn't rooting for? Are we excited about Tyler Perry being a billionaire, or I mean, I personally, I guess in my head, I already thought he was like a billionaire. I don't know. Because he made so many. And I guess once you get over like $600-700 million, you already in my head are just already like a billionaire because you're fucking, you can do anything that a billionaire does when you have that amount of money. Right. But I don't know. I don't know. I personally have not seen all of his works. I know he gets I know he gets a lot of criticism because of the way he portrays Black people and Black families. I personally have not seen all of his works to compare and say that he doesn't necessarily deserve to have $1 billion.
Well, let me stop you right there, Candice. As a person who has watched all of his work and can't wait for the next project, he deserves every fucking penny. Medea goes to the bank.
Literally.
Yeah. That's the next one.
Yeah, that's the next one. No, good for him, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how to feel. I think I've seen one Tyler Perry movie.
Which one was it? I mean, they're all the same, but which one was it?
I think it was the one with Kathy Bates.
Yeah, yes. That's The Family That Prays. Do not now judge me because I knew that off the top of my head.
Is that the one?
That is the one with Kathy Bates and was it Alfre Woodard?
Yeah, maybe that's something. I don't know. Look, good for him.
Yeah.
Question mark?
First of all, when you become a billionaire, it's sort of like you said, yeah, I don't. At that point, you've accumulated so much money that I don't care anymore.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I stopped paying attention back when it was 300 million.
Right. Yeah. It's like after that, it's like you're in this elite group of just. Yeah. But I feel like we're hearing about a lot of billionaires recently. Like I'm like, enough. There shouldn't be this many. There shouldn't be. We got Bill Gates and we got Bezos. Now it's Oprah. I mean, I feel like there should be a cap.
On billionaires?
I've talked about this with my friend just in general. I think the problem is why people aren't as concerned with people achieving that amount of money is because number one, they think, oh, this is just a capitalist society. Like that's just, that's what the whole point is, that I can start my own business and eventually that's the goal, is to get to billionaire status. And people don't realize like that's how unattainable that really is. Right. Like if you think you can become a billionaire, you're dumb, because that's the odds of you actually becoming a billionaire are so slim. And so I don't think people actually can conceive of what $1 billion is, but it's a ridiculous, obscene amount of money. And I was like, I don't think, me and my friend were discussing this, like we don't think that it should be illegal to get to that status. But what I think should happen is that, especially when you have, in America, it's like there's so much poverty here, but then you're talking about other nations that have it so much worse than us. But I'm talking specifically about America. When you have so much poverty and so much homelessness, that when you get to that status, you should be allowed to get there. But then you have a social responsibility to give back to America at some point and give a certain amount of your money back so that we can help others in need. But
that's the thing. Why wouldn't you just want to?
That's what that's why they're evil. That's why those people are evil. And I've been saying this for years. I don't trust any billionaires. I don't trust, for you to get to that level, the amount of people that you have stepped on or just not cared about or hurt in the process to get to that much money. I don't like it. I don't trust it.
You just have a bunch of money. That means you literally have a bunch of money laying around.
Literally.
You have it laying around. You can't go through it all.
You can't.
And you've done all you can do with all you've done all you will ever do with this money. Like, so you can. Why wouldn't you just go? Oh, I literally just thought I saw a wasp over there.
Kevin just gets up and puts the bee suit on.
I should have had it.
Yeah. Can we take 5 guys?
I keep talking, but I just slide out of the way.
Like, is he going to get the bee suit again? Oh Lord.
But yeah, you like, why wouldn't you go, oh, you just figure it out, do something with this, and just, why the hell not? I don't understand. Also, I'm not impressed with necessarily look, he shot the Oval and then Sisters in
a week.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. Yeah.
22 episodes
Mm-hmm.
of TV, not even short seasons like we're all doing now.
Mm-hmm.
22. What is that?
That's insane.
What is? Well, I at this point, because that's the thing. He's on the cover of this magazine, this magazine and that magazine, and we celebrate this, but you're just celebrating that he has a lot of money now.
Exactly.
Like, wow, what is he doing? How did he get this money?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I can't wait.
I think the celebration, if we're being honest, it's like Black culture just celebrates Black success.
Anything.
So he is the most successful like Black film producer that we have, and so he's therefore, celebrated without question of like how good the movies are or what it is. It's just like we just have to support him because he's Black. So do it.
And I have so strong problems with that. We need to think better. We need to do better. We need to demand better. Because he shouldn't be the only like Black producer that is even close to that. Because I can't, right. I would have to look up and do the research to see, but we should ask for definitely, I think, better content. I also know for a fact, because I know people that have worked with him, that he doesn't compensate people properly.
Well, that's how you don't get to $1 billion by giving it away.
Exactly. And so, so there's that. But I do know, what I didn't know is that, did you know that I think it was it Black Panther? One or a couple of the Marvel films were shot at his studios in Atlanta.
Okay.
I had no idea about that. I was like, oh, so it's like stuff is being created there that I do think is good quality. It just doesn't necessarily have his name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, but they could have done that at any studio.
For sure.
They did it at his, and good for him.
Right.
But, I think the celebration of him, I think the problem started years ago, well before he was a billionaire, when we decided this is the guy. And look, he has his audience, everything has we all have certain comedians we don't like. We all have certain musicians, obviously, we don't like, and certain, and filmmakers. So it's okay that he has his audience. It's just like, man, this has got to be the guy. Like, right. Oprah may be a billionaire, right? But Oprah gave us Oprah. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
right.
And I feel like Oprah gave us so much more.
Well, Oprah is partly responsible for Tyler Perry. She also gave us he's got shows on her network.
Yeah.
Oprah's like, look they can't all be winners. Unfortunately, he's a winner, but it's also kind of a loser, but whatever.
She was like, this is all Black people deserve. I have no problem giving you guys Black mediocrity.
Yeah.
You know what? Oprah also gave us Dr. Phil.
She gives us a lot of suspect people, for sure.
The other doctor that is a hack.
Oz. Dr. Oz.
Oz. She gave us that one author who everyone found out plagiarized.
James Fry.
Yeah. Oprah, what do you?
Yeah, no. People be taking Oprah's word as if she knows what she's talking about, but as if Oprah don't have another agenda. Oprah when you're a billionaire, you come into this world with agendas, okay? Yeah. And so there's a reason why you uplift certain people. But I'm suspicious about everything, but mostly people that have that much money, I think you should, definitely have to do something productive with it. I couldn't imagine having that much money. And I'm like going to a homeless shelter this weekend to drop stuff off. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of a quarantine, unemployed in a pandemic. And like, how can I help? So I know you can fucking help.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I love the premise is you wanted to stay away from the depressing topic.
I know.
Of the quarantine, and we just bummed ourselves out.
We did. But I really just wanted to make fun of Tyler Perry. Here, let's close with this. Let's make fun of Tyler. So I did watch. He has a show called The Haves and Have-Nots.
Right.
Have you ever watched it, Kevin?
No.
I know Mal hasn't. I wasn't even asking you because I know you haven't watched. It's so bad that my nephew and I, every time I go home for Christmas or a holiday, we binge watch it because I love watching bad things, but especially
it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, especially bad black things. I will make time for that. And this is one of those shows where it's so like the editing. It's just like you're going out of your way to make this bad. Like it would be easier to make it good, and you're just not. The editing, the dialogue. Like I see how you wrote everything in a week because I could write something better. You know what I'm saying? Just give me some time. But
excuse me, Mr. Perry. What got cut from this? Is
this the first draft?
We're going to air with this.
You didn't want to go through any rewrites or get some fresh eyes on it, or maybe develop the characters.
Rewrite what? 2.5 weeks.
Exactly.
I can't wait to watch. This might be the first time I start watching Tyler Perry shows.
Look, I'm telling you, you will, if you watch The Haves and Have-Nots, you will not be disappointed. Only because you will be laughing. I'm talking, the acting is bad. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But there was, I watched a scene where it was someone getting out of a car. He gets out of the car, and you know how normally you would just then cut, if you want to see them getting out of the car for some reason, you cut then to wherever their destination was, the front door or inside.
Right.
They kept the whole thing rolling the whole entire time. The actor stepped out of the car, closed the door. They're walking up the walkway.
See, why? This is what he doesn't have to waste time editing.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Leave it all in.
If only to see how many mic booms end up in the shot.
Yeah.
How many like of this do we get? Yeah.
I'm here for the boom shadows.
Yeah.
It's like, should we cut this? Nah, we got 22 minutes to fill, so just leave that in there.
Just let it roll. Just let it roll.
Yeah.
I need to quit my fingernails. Damn. Doing that.
That's actually from episode 41 of Tyler Perry's The Haves and Have-Nots. So, okay, so randomly, I was searching. I don't know why. I don't remember why I did this, but I started looking up how the Little Rascals from that show from like the 20s or 30s, whenever it was, how the Little Rascals started dying. And I don't know, Robert Blake may have triggered something because, I love murders and crimes of passion. Anyway, so Robert Blake used to be a Little Rascal. And so I started doing research and then stumbled upon a link that basically there's a rumor that all the cast members from the Little Rascals are cursed because most of their deaths are bizarre. And Robert Blake didn't die in a weird way. I think he's actually still alive. But
he's too, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's still alive, but he did murder. He murdered his wife or ex-wife, one of the two, in 2001. And it was like in a restaurant in the Valley, not too far from here. I've actually driven past that place numerous times. So then I stumbled across a link and I was just like, oh my God, this is really how these people died? So I'll start with Alfalfa.
Okay. Wait, which one was Robert Blake?
Hold on.
Was he? Do people remember what the Little Rascals know what they are?
I mean, I don't know. I would hope so. They did a 90s movie about the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think enough people know. I mean, I think most people know who Buckwheat is.
Yeah. I think it's just an interesting concept that it is a thing that was, I think, ubiquitous. Like, everyone knew what the Little Rascals was at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't it's like when you say, bring up Belle Biv DeVoe, and people look at you like you're like, what? No, what is it?
How old are you?
Like, is that, or they think it's a store. Is that like
He was Bobby Blake on the Little Rascals.
Bobby? Well, it says, I'm looking at, yeah.
Little Beaver.
That's an unfortunate nickname.
Yeah.
So hold on. So Alfalfa, this one is not the most bizarre, but I think Alfalfa was the most popular character. Wasn't he kind of like the ringleader or some shit like that? He's the one that had the little hair, the little
hair thing
sticking up.
Mm-hmm.
He apparently, what did I say?
He had a crush on Darla.
He did. That was the love interest. They were the love interests on the show. So he was shot to death in 1959 following an argument over $50.
Okay.
$50, and he was only 31 years old.
Shit.
So that's Alfalfa.
Over $50?
Over $50. And I mean, I guess back then in 1959, what would that be in our time today?
$7 billion. So yeah.
Oh, Tyler Perry money back then. I was trying to buy his own studio.
So that was Alfalfa. And then Buckwheat was not really, this one's just a regular death, it sounds like. He was only 49, but he allegedly died of a heart attack. He was found dead in his bed. So that's not too bad.
Not bad.
Not too bad. There was a guy named Robert Hitchens, who I guess his name on the show was Weezer, or maybe that's what his name on the show was, Weezer. Okay. He died. He was a cadet in the Army Air Corps and was killed in 1945 while trying to land his plane during a training exercise. Damn. He died just shy of his 20th birthday.
Shit.
Yeah.
What year was this?
In 1945.
Wow. Okay.
He was flying the third airplane ever made, and he was just trying to get it down. Taking off was so easy.
Oh,
no, these aren't. Steiny died of just pneumonia and a stroke. I mean, but both though? Anyway, I mean, really, that's like, one of them could have probably handled it. Darla, she had hepatitis. Remember when hepatitis was popping? This one is weird. So there's a guy named William Froggy Laughlin. His name is Froggy.
Yeah.
He was rear-ended and killed by a truck while delivering newspapers on his motor scooter in 1948. He was only 16.
Wait, he was on the show, but he was still delivering newspapers?
I guess this was after. He was 16 when he died, so he's probably too old then to be a
Little Rascal?
Yeah, he would have been
how much money could he have been making on that show?
I don't know.
None.
So, I mean, he was clearly still delivering newspapers, so it couldn't have been a lavish lifestyle.
He probably got like $1 an episode, if that.
Are you exaggerating?
No, I don't know. It was the 30s.
No concept of money prior to 1985.
What do you think they would have paid those kids?
Nothing. And also they're children. So so I couldn't imagine them or, parents that put their kids in entertainment, they're not the most responsible people either. So even if they were getting paid, their parents were probably siphoning whatever they could from them.
I'm saying it was probably $1, if at all. Here you go, kids. They showed up.
And that's $7 in Tyler Perry money.
Yeah.
See?
So wait. Oh, here's it. Hold on. Where's this one. Robert Bone Dust. Apparently there was a character named Bone Dust. Fell asleep while smoking in his bed in 1951 and died in the fire. He was 33.
So he was also drunk.
Yeah.
Probably so many of the ones I'm not even reading were cirrhosis from alcoholism. Those are not weird enough for me to even acknowledge. Yeah. So apparently Dorothy Dandridge was also one of the Little Rascals. I didn't know that. What? I think, how Menudo
Oh, they just rotate it.
They'll rotate, right? Like they just have a revolving cast. I really think that that's what they did.
Nobody knows.
I thought you were about to make a soup analogy. I was like, well, this is going to be good.
Because of menudo?
Menudo, it's a Mexican soup.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was like, how does this apply to Little Rascals?
I had no idea that was a soup.
Yeah.
You know how some menudo has corn in it?
Isn't that where Ricky Martin came from? Ricky Martin was in menudo. Yeah.
ABC. Good morning.
Oh, this one. Okay, this one is my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge committed suicide after losing all her money, apparently, in a phony investment scheme at 41. J. Pinky Smith. This is my favorite. There was a character, he was AKA the freckle-faced kid. That's who this was. He was stabbed to death in 2002 by a homeless man that he had befriended, who then dumped his body in the desert outside of Las Vegas. The kicker, he was 87. So you lived to 87, and that's how you died?
That's messed up.
Stabbed by a homeless man that you became friends with?
I've been looking for him. He'd kept it low. The person's like, where is this dude? Where is Freckleface? We can't find him anywhere.
Yeah.
At the curse department. We don't know where he is. The man doesn't use credit cards.
He's off the grid.
Yeah. Wow. Can't we just let him go? No.
No.
He just has a homeless friend named Dusty that buys everything and puts it in his name.
Dusty.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. The last one that I will mention is Pete the pup.
The dog?
There was a dog.
Oh, Petey.
Yeah. The first dog to play Pete was apparently poisoned by an unknown assailant in 1930.
What did that dog have to do to piss somebody off in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Oh, he probably was about to snitch on some pedophiles. He knew something about Hillary Clinton. He was about to say something.
Yeah. Most logical answer. That makes sense.
That actually makes tons of sense. Oh my God.
Well, rest in peace, Little Rascals.
Yeah. Yeah.
R.I.P. Little Rascals. I will never, not that I watch the show regularly anymore, or ever did I watch it, but I'm going to look at it differently now. But I think that really does speak to all the things that people talk, the rumors, and just the facts that we've seen with these struggling child actors. Like, it's just, that's a lifestyle. When I see people, like when I would work on the set for Lights Out and they'd have auditions down the hallway for like these other productions, and it was always just like a kids casting or whatever, and I'm just like, man, I was like, no good's gonna come of this. I felt so bad. I get mad at my parents for not helping me with it. Not mad at them, but just like think about like how my life would be different if my parents were like had some connections in entertainment or did it something to like help me get my foot in the door. But then at the same time, I'm like, no, this was how it's supposed to be. I wanted regular ass parents who had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
It's always
that's the best way.
very concerning to me.
Robert Blake's still alive, by the way.
He is still. How old is he?
86.
Jesus. Well, he's got a strange death coming to him.
I know. Did someone have a line on that homeless guy? Who stabbed
If he dies in a ridiculous manner, you heard it here first, people. You heard it here first. Let's talk about, we thought Rachel Dolezal was one of a kind, right? We thought she was just like some random chick, some rogue white person who just, doing her own thing, trying to get a little publicity for, I guess this is what I want to talk about is where this comes from. There's another lady who is named Jessica Krupp, she's a historian professor at George Washington University who was pretending to be Black. She admitted to pretending to be Black.
Yeah.
And so what I want to discuss is what is it about these white people that want to pass as Black people? Wiggers have always fascinated me. Wiggers have always fascinated me.
Look at these people. These are just people that really love Black people. You know what I mean? Like, I love you so much, I want to be you. Like, I mean, that, like, the amount of money they have to spend on hair product alone is like, shows the dedication and the love that they have.
You know, here's the thing. When Dolezal showed up on the scene, I was trying to tell people that she was nothing new as far as I was concerned, because I do think she came from she was born out of Wiggerism.
Yes.
And I think
that's actually a medical term.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just coined that. Somebody put that in the book. But
in the DCM or DSM, is that what it's called? The diagnostic manual.
But it was so frustrating because I think people were trying to process it like it was something new, like she was the craziest person they'd ever seen, and I was like, no, this is I saw a lot of white people do this when I was younger, when white people were really latching on to Black culture for the first time, whether it was music or whatever. And this was just up in the ante. And now I think with, you know, all of these relatively new movements happening, everyone, you know, not everyone, but people want to latch on to the wokeness. You know what it's like? You remember in Malcolm X when Malcolm X is there's a scene, he's walking up the steps into some building, and this white woman is on the stairs, and she stops him, and she's like, I just want to know, what can I do? What can I do? And she can't believe she's meeting Malcolm X, and she wants to be part of the movement, and he just says nothing, and then keeps walking. That's who these women are. They are. They want to be a part of it so badly.
Which is very flattering. It's very flattering.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 100% flattering. I think where they fuck up is by just not telling themselves the lie for so long that they then believe it is actual truth. No, I am Black, but your mom is white and your dad is white and your brother is white. No, but I'm Black though.
But I feel Black on the inside.
But this is a picture of you when you were 3, and you're for sure white. But I'm Black now. Okay. Now, like, huh?
First of all, I have been pretending to be Black this whole entire time, and I just want everyone to know.
What? We all were, all 3 of us.
Yeah.
We all.
We're a support group.
Turns out we're all just Filipinos.
I think it bugs me because then, specifically with Dolezal, then it suddenly became an argument of whether or not she could be transracial.
Yes.
I'm like, don't make that up. Don't say that. He said that. Well, I'm transracial, and everyone went, well, maybe she is. Transracial.
Of course.
That's not a thing.
Of course.
You're going on the ride with this woman who is full of shit and all this.
Yeah.
And I think Rachel Dolezal is just a woman who had nothing in her life and just wanted and needed to belong to something and needed.
Yeah.
I think this woman is mentally ill and has just been, you know, living her life as you know.
Do we think that this woman hates Rachel Dolezal for being the Wigger when she wanted to be the Wigger? You know what I'm saying? Like when Rachel came out, do you think this woman was watching the headlines and like, that should have been me?
I think she admired her, but was like, but I'm gonna do better.
I could do better.
I think this is hold my beer moment. You know what I mean?
Well, this woman, she's a African history professor at George Washington University. And here's my thing with both of these women is that I'm happy that at least they were giving back and like teaching, like I don't know if Rachel Dolezal was teaching, but she was giving back to the Black community. She worked she was the president of the NAACP, which is like, if you're going to do it, at least I guess.
I mean, yeah, Black people always like, do your research. This bitch did her research, and then she started teaching said research to other people. Like, you can't be mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I guess I'm more curious than mad about both of these women. Yeah. And Jessica, I wrote down one of her quotes because she said that apparently she's been various types of Black throughout the years. Like one of them was
Black.
She was of North African Blackness at one point, and then she tried regular old American Blackness, and at one point regular old, and then she was Caribbean rooted Bronx Black.
Did the accent change for each region that she was?
I did see a video where she was speaking with some type of like island dialect for sure. And I was like, what is happening?
That accent was in and out.
Oh, she did not commit at all. Like, she didn't listen to any, do they have like a Duolingo or like a
Rosetta Stone?
A Rosetta Stone for people who want to appropriate Blackness.
Remember, Costner was in Robin Hood. You know, I'm just not going to do the accent. I think that's what she should have done. It was not. She did not hold it together.
Dave Chappelle in Half Baked, he's trying to convince Samson, played by Clarence Williams III, that he's Jamaican, and he was like, "You're not Jamaican." He goes, "I be Jamaican. Why else would I be wearing this hat, man?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, where do you live?" He goes, "Right near the beach."
I don't know. What I don't want is I don't think Rachel Dolezal was humiliated enough, and I don't think this woman was either. I feel like Rachel Dolezal is, I don't know why this bothers me so much, but I feel like she turned it into a thing. She got a book out now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't like that.
Oh, of course not. She's now profiting off of exploiting Black culture. But yeah, she had a Netflix documentary, which I was the first one to watch that, and I was very disappointed by it. I was like, ooh, I gotta watch this. But it wasn't good. I didn't think it dove deep enough into her background or how she got there. But I feel like I want to know who came first. I don't know if this lady came first or if Rachel Dolezal inspired. I feel like this woman was around probably being a history teacher for Black people for years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But how long had Rachel Dolezal been doing it?
Years.
Here's what's crazy to me. Like, I was reading the article and I was like, well, how did she, the woman says she is blah, 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 blah. And I was like, said to who? What news outlet? What paper? Did the New York Times? Did she sit down with them doing an interview? And then I realized, oh, she just wrote a blog and posted it somewhere, and we decided to like latch onto that and make it a thing.
Yeah.
There's no other podcast breaking down the origin story of Rachel Dolezal.
I mean, like the media and this could have been. This woman could have she's trying so hard to get attention. I think she did everything she could as a Black woman, and she's like, how can I change it up now? I know, I'm gonna tell everybody I've been pretending to be a Black woman.
Yeah.
Watch the endorsements rolling.
But also, I think now is the chick who did it now why is she coming forward now during all of this, what's happening right now in America with the race war and everyone being woke or pretending to be woke or whatever? I just think the timing is really convenient because she seems to be self-aware. Reading that article, she now said she deserves to be canceled. She says, I believe this is because of my mental illness. Like, it seems to me a bit like farcical. It feels to me like she might be pretending to be doing this stuff for attention. I don't even say, like, where I feel as Rachel Dolezal believes she's black, I feel like this woman is now pretending to pretend to be black for attention.
I think she is. Wow. Damn. Damn. That's what. I feel like that's parallel to the Sunken Place.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a whole nother universe we're talking about.
I think this woman's mentally ill, and this is just how the illness is manifesting itself. Like conflict. She mentioned being canceled so many times in that article. Yeah. I was like, that's your favorite thing to talk about now.
Right.
The big aspect of social justice and wokeness is now canceling folks. Yeah.
But I think this speaks to where we are as a society. Like, this woman is now so desperate to be a good white person that she pretended to be black so she could cancel herself. Kevin's mind just, his head just exploded. His head just exploded. We have a woman that do we think this is a manifestation of her white guilt? Her white guilt got to the point where she just was like, I don't want to be white so much because I feel so badly about my privilege that I'm gonna, in my head, I'm now a black person. And then now the white guilt side, it was like fighting. It was like she had these two personalities fighting each other. And then the white woman now came out and was like, I've got to cancel this woman who was.
I want to know how often she switched it off. Like, do you think she must have been intermittently white from time to time? Like, just when she had to run errands.
Or when she got pulled over by the cops, for sure.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
That's when I pretend.
She when she got pulled over by the cops, she was not like, what seems to be the problem, Mom? That was
Yeah, dance hall.
Juan Guan officer, Juan Guan.
Oh no. Oh, no.
If one more bumbleclap cop pull me over.
I like she just anything onto, she's like blasting musical youth.
Wow, what the bum officer, what the bum.
Oh man! Meanwhile, the cop is really from Jamaica.
He's like,
just watching the whole thing with a straight face.
He's recording her.
Fun of me.
But I do think a part of it also, before we have to bring up one more thing before we wrap up. But I think oppression envy, real talk. I think oppression envy is real as fuck. I think.
Yeah.
With now, again, back to this whole woke zeitgeist, I think people they see that those are the people that are like getting attention, and they see that there's like people fighting for them now, like, oh, and you have excuses to not be where you're supposed to be in society because you were oppressed. This is my excuse. Yeah. So people really want to be victims. And I think that for sure is part of it. There's all this glitz and glam with being oppressed, and that's what people want to see and want to hear from people. Like, I even feel that just in entertainment, that I know for sure that I've gotten passed on for jobs and castings because they don't think my type of black is oppressed enough, or we need to hire a black person, but like you're still gonna get us in trouble for not casting someone dark enough. We need someone darker than you, Candice. Even though you are black, you're not black enough for us white people. Yeah.
Yeah. Network is gonna show up and be like, "Who is this?"
Right. We said we needed.
Yeah.
We said we needed a black. Could you imagine the uproar? Do you remember when SNL was on a hunt to find a black woman because they were getting dragged for not having a black woman in the cast since like Maya Rudolph? And yeah, could you imagine the outrage if I had been the person?
Oh my God! Yeah,
you were on the list, Candice, and they thought that less tones.
Yeah, folks that have been out in the streets.
I'd have been like, but I'm black.
Sure you are.
Nobody believes me.
Sure you are, Candice. We want somebody that's had grape soda in the last 6 months. Now take your matcha tea and
But you know what? I also think there is something to, like, nobody wants to be the villain.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be the bad guy. And I think there is something to, well, like I said, the people who are oppressed are the good guys.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so I think there are people who look at that and go, well, if I'm not one of them, then what does that make me? So then they lean really heavily into the wokeness, into the, and I guess the hardest you can go is just deciding, no, you know what, I'm black now. Here's what it is.
Just to let you know, I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm also black.
Yeah.
Look at me.
They've been doing this shit to us for years.
For years.
Huh?
Oh, man.
No.
Who's the next one going to be? And why is it only women?
That is, man, I'll tell you my theory. Because black men love it. They love a white woman that is down for the cause. They love it. Look at them. They love it. No, I do think that there is something to white women, like, how can I articulate this? Black people, I think black men specifically, I can't say black women, are very accepting of white women foolishness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, for example, I was on a plane, and this is a very like vague, like not really specific example, but it's I guess a macro example of a smaller issue. But I was on a plane, and there was a white woman just being all types of loud on her phone. This is like in quarantine. I was flying back from Cincinnati. Everyone's spaced out. She's just on her phone, like being so obnoxious, so loud. This is like, as people I may have been in first class, but there's people. So we're waiting for everyone to board, and she's just, yeah. So yeah, my mom was cooking, talking about nothing, as loud as she wanted. And I'm sitting, there's barely anyone around us, but because everyone was spaced out. But there's a black dude who's like a seat. There's me, a space, a black dude, space, white woman on the phone being loud.
Right.
And I'm looking at her with all the stank. Like, I don't want to like make a scene or yell at her, but I'm looking at her like, bitch, will you shut the fuck up and be considerate? Black dude's not saying anything. And then like she starts a conversation with him and they're just talking. And I'm like, how? After she like got off the phone from being rude. And I'm like, did you not just see the fuck shit that was going on? And now you're entertaining her? Like, I just was in that moment. Again, that's just a really, I can't even say it was a good example, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, I've seen black men give white women passes for all types of fuck shit. Like,
if that was a black lady, you're saying he would be reacting differently.
He would be reacting differently. Maybe he wouldn't have said anything. I don't know. I can't say. This is all speculation. Yeah. But I do know me as the black woman sitting there. We're always the person that has to check the person that's being ridiculous. Like it's always the onus is on black women to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And the black dudes are like, I'm just not gonna. I know black men that are like super okay with like dating a white woman that behaves like a Rachel Dolezal, who will date that woman instead of dating a black woman. And I find that very peculiar. I know black men that have dated.
Why? Why is that peculiar? Rachel Dolezal is black.
What happened to Mal? Is he okay? I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Like, okay, point exactly. That was hilarious. But I'm sorry, but I gotta point out, Rachel Dolezal has a black boyfriend.
Yeah.
Whereas that to me is, what are you doing? You're a crazy person, but still a black man is allowing this white woman to just appropriate all the culture and to pretend like she's this and pretend to be oppressed, and you're fine with it.
See, I don't love the idea of I'm date whoever you want. I've dated all the spectrum, but
yeah.
I don't. I think I used to talk about this on stage, how like the idea of, and obviously I'm exaggerating, but if I'm gonna date a white woman, then I want a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want the, obviously I'm exaggerating, but what I meant by that is I don't want what you're talking about, which is, I don't want the white woman who's got a, who's so down. I went out with this girl once, and I think we had gone on a few dates, and then I went over to her place one night, and white lady, red hair, I think British. That's how white she was. I go to her place one night, and there was like, I remember the first thing I saw, there was African art on the walls, and I was like, now look, that's fine. It could have been Japanese art. It could have been
right.
Indian. It could have been whatever.
Right.
But it just happened to be African.
Yeah.
Then I go over to her cork board.
Oh no.
She's got a bunch of photos. It's all black people. It's all black people. She's holding
like her friends and people she knows.
Yeah, her and her friends. But it's all black people on the cork board. She's holding like a little black baby, the whole deal. And I'm like, where are the white people? Don't you know any white people? Like, I'm black and I know a ton of white people. So how is it here in the Bay Area, California, is all black folks? No, well, I just, they're just me friends. And I'm like,
no, you're a wigger. I don't know what they call that in England, but you're a British wigger.
She didn't.
Kevin wants to date the girl from 3B. That's what he wants. The white lady on the phone, loud as fuck, doesn't care. That's his boo.
Yeah, no, you can date. And I'm here all for it. Date whoever the fuck you want. But that's and I think, but going back to the question was, why is it always white women? I think there's more acceptance because it's a white woman. I think that and how we were talking about how they weren't reprimanded. They didn't get dragged like they should have been. And I'm like, if that had been a man that was doing it or some other way around somehow, I don't know, maybe a black woman pretending to be white, I don't know. But what would the repercussions have been if it was not a white woman? I'm curious to find out.
Also, from a practical standpoint.
Yeah.
I think there just physically, there are ways that I think women can get away with it that men can't.
Wigs?
That's what I was going to say.
Maybe, yeah.
But also, nobody's going to punch a woman and be like, get your shit together. If it was a white dude, a black dude would roll up on him. Like, it'd be a problem.
Maybe. I don't know. I think black people in general are just too accepting of fuck shit. Like how we always invite white people to the barbecue that shouldn't be invited to the barbecue. Like, I'm like, what are you, just because they were a decent person? Like, they're supposed to not call the cops on me, but you're now getting invited to the barbecue because of this, and you're part of the family. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel about Joe Biden. I'm like, y'all invited Joe Biden to the barbecue. He's still talking fuck shit, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with Clinton.
Absolutely, perfect example. Both those motherfuckers involved with the crime bill. What are we talking about? But come hang out with us. We good. Give me some dap. You good because you dap Barack? Get the fuck out of here. Please don't get me started.
Oh my God.
Oh, you guys, I wish we could continue this discussion on Wiggerdom.
Together, like we were sitting at a serious roundtable.
Yeah. I think we made some breakthroughs. I think we broke some real ground on the Wigger issues and the origin stories of both Rachel Dolezal and Jessica Krug.
Name, although I didn't even want to know.
Jessica Krug.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's Jessica Krug, Mom. What if she hyphenated her? What if she hyphenated her last name to Krug -MON?
just go.
No, that's my middle name.
Right.
That's my street name. You guys,
Oh man,
this was fantastic. I thank all of you for joining. Thank you for joining this special time that in quarantine it's difficult to share moments with people, but I feel like this was special. If you have not subscribed to The Struggle, make sure to do that. We're on all podcast platforms. I'm also posting on my YouTube. So make sure you go there, rate and review us on iTunes, and last but not least, tell someone about The Struggle. I'm Jokes by Candice. Mal, one more time, where can everyone find you?
You could go to my website, which is malhall.com. Click on the store link and buy a t-shirt. That's what I want you to do.
Support.
Namaste.
Support. Namaste. And Kevin, one more time, where can...
Please find me at Kevin Avery Comedy on Instagram. And Kevin Avery, if you want to follow me on Twitter, but don't want to read any tweets, because I will not be tweeting for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
Also, if you want to catch Kevin, he's going to be at your local farmers market with
surrounded by bees.
Organic homemade honey. Explain it to you.
I got to move this honey, y'all. I got to move it. I didn't invite those bees in my place for nothing. Oh, wait. I will plug one other.
Oh, yes, please.
It's a ways off, but I mean, shit, it's already September. January 17th, a little show that I'm writing on called The Great North premieres on Fox. So just be on the lookout for that, because that's happening.
On Fox, that's fantastic. And it's the last quarter of the year, so yeah, no, you're not that far off for promoting that.
Yeah.
Set your DVRs, everyone.
Please.
I just burped and I took some black seed oil earlier. You guys know about black seed oil?
No.
All right. Oh, it's too late for that. We don't have enough time to get into it.
Why would you? Why would you?
It's an oil. Everyone knows I'm all about natural healing and everything. So yeah, no, it's just it's antiviral, antibacterial. It's a good way to help in these uncertain COVID times to make sure that your immune system is functioning properly. And and it tastes disgusting. So anyway, I burped and it just resurfaced. So I just thought I would tell everyone about that. But look up
black seed oil.
Black seed oil. It's they call it the cure for everything but death is what they call it, because it's supposed to like cure everything. Whether or not it does that, I have no idea.
I saw something else on your Instagram a while ago that
yes,
I can't remember. But I did have the distinct memory of going, I should probably get that.
Just that, know that your instinct is right. Whenever you anytime anyone looks at on my Insta, my problem is I keep trying to help people that don't want to be helped. So I'll post things that people don't know about, like natural cures and natural healing. And this is all from its experience, like stuff that I've I've healed myself with just eating properly and switching to like mostly raw fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So like, this is not coming from a place of like, she don't know what she's talking, like I actually have experienced and lived this. So I post things that I think people should know, because of course now during the pandemic, they keep trying to tell people, scare people and think that there's nothing you can do, but it's like, yeah, just make your immune system healthier. Like go get some sun, go outside, stand in the sun for 20 minutes and it will kill viruses. That's a fact. And so people don't know these things. And we need, most of the people that have died from this are dying because they don't have vitamin D. That's literally from the sun. So just go outside. Stop panicking. We have our immune systems. Get vitamin C from a natural source, vitamin D, get plant-based iron and iodine and zinc, and you'll be fine. That's all.
I need to buy your book.
Yeah, no, I will heal you. I will get those wasps out of your house. All of the hives. Just let me know, and I will be your Sherpa.
I appreciate that.
All right. You're welcome, guys.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.